Good evening, teachers, and welcome back to our second chapter of the Language Teacher Supervision Program, the Professional Development Program for Dominican Public School Supervisors. My name is Professor Juan Valdez, and I'm really glad to have you all back in class for our second chapter. Today, we will be talking about the goal of graduating bilingual students in Dominican public schools. And for the last few weeks, I've been publishing some material on our goal, our vision, and the work you, supervisors, have been doing in the country. I must express that I'm very happy, truly satisfied with the job that language teacher supervisors are doing at the moment. And I am certain that we are going to make history with this program. However, there are some people who don't believe that graduating bilingual students in Dominican public schools is possible. In fact, I'd like to share with you my post from this weekend from my program, the Education Observatory, and one of the comments that someone made about our aspiration of graduating bilingual students in Dominican public schools. This was my post for Saturday, and it talked about 8 health benefits to learning English in public schools. But check the comment in Spanish. Somebody in this comment actually referred to our vision as a fantasy, as a delusion. Of course, I know that for the last 50 years, Dominican education has not lived up to its purpose. And we haven't gotten too far in Dominican education at all. And that actually frustrates, demotivates, and demoralizes many people. But I would like to reaffirm our vision that graduating bilingual students in Dominican public schools is possible. Before I go ahead, then, I would like to ask you to do something. Our first group work is going to be right away. In your groups, I would like you to discuss and take notes on this question. Why does the general public disbelieve the possibility of learning English in public education? Once again, this is the question. Why do you think the general public in the Dominican Republic disbelieve the possibility of learning English in public education? I am going to open the breakout rooms, but I would like you to do something this time. I would like you to join specific rooms for discussion. Break room number 1 is going to be for the supervisors from regionals 1, 2, and 3. Please take notes because in this class, these regionals will be using the same breakout rooms in all our activities. Breakout room number 2 is for supervisors from regionals 4 and 5. Breakout room number 3 for supervisors from regionals 6 and 7. Breakout room number 4, supervisors for regionals 8 and 9. Breakout room number 5, supervisors from regionals 11 and 12. Breakout room number 6, supervisors from regionals 13 and 14. Breakout room number 7, supervisors from regionals 15 and 16. And in breakout room number 8, supervisors from regionals 10, 17, and 18. Now, I am going to open the breakout rooms. And again, I would like you to discuss why the general public disbelieve the possibility of learning English in public education. What is your opinion about it? Now, I am going to open 8 breakout rooms, and I would like you to join the specific breakout rooms that I refer to. Now, go. Choose your breakout room. Go to it. Again, breakout room number 1, teachers, supervisors from regionals 1, 2, and 3. Let's see. Please join the breakout rooms. They are available and open. Go. Join the breakout rooms, please. Supervisors from regionals 1, 2, and 3, breakout room number 1. Supervisors from regionals 4 and 5, please join breakout room number 2. Supervisors from regionals 6 and 7, join breakout room number 3. Supervisors from regionals 8 and 9, breakout room number 4. Supervisors from regionals 11 and 12. breakout room number 5, supervisors from regionals 13 and 14, breakout room number 6, supervisors from regionals 15 and 16, breakout room number 7, and supervisors from regionals 10, 17, and 18, breakout room number 8. Go, please join the breakout room that corresponds to your regional. Okay, I would like to see everybody please joining the breakout room. Go ahead. Those of you who are still here, please, you have to join the breakout room. Just press the join button. There is a button for each room. Please, Quirico, Salustiana, Bernardo, Paula, Santiago, you need to join your corresponding breakout room. Join the breakout room that corresponds to your region.
Excuse me, which one do I belong?
You belong to number 8, breakout room number 8.
Okay,
Santiago,
thank you.
Paula, breakout room number 8. For regional team, please join breakout room number 8.
Mr. Valdez.
Excuse me, Valdez.
Yes?
See, I have some trouble to go into the room because I don't know what's happening.
Are you using a laptop?
Yeah.
Just, okay, you click.
Excuse me.
Okay. If you are using a laptop, there is a button at the bottom of your screen. At the bottom of your screen, there is a button that says breakout room. You join the breakout room at the bottom. Click on breakout room. There are 4 squares. 4 squares in the breakout room. You just have to join it. Okay, I see more and more people. Remember,
Mr. Valdez.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Today I can't because I'm using my cell phone. Just for today.
That's an issue. That's why I've always insisted that it's impossible to do this.
All right, because I'm not at home.
I know.
I'm not at home today,
I understand. Don't worry. I understand. Anyway, I'd like you to take notes. If you are not in any group, take notes on the question. And I'm going to play the question again. I'm just going to ask this. The question is, why do you think the general public disbelieve the possibility of learning English in public education in the Dominican Republic? This is the question. Take notes on a few issues. You can take notes now before we talk, but I'd like you to take notes, please.
Excuse me.
Yes?
Yesenia Hernandez. I belong to District 1007 and I want to go to the room, but I don't have the link.
Yes, that's my case too.
Yes.
Mr. Valdez.
Are you using a laptop?
Yes.
Okay, Yesenia Hernandez is right now in the cell phone. I'm going to my house now, to my home.
Okay.
I start in the...
No problem, Yesenia. I understand. From a cell phone, it's more difficult, but Janalina, from a laptop, at the bottom of your screen, there are 4 squares.
Yes. I got it.
You have to click at the bottom of the screen, and then you will see
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. For everybody, if you haven't joined yet, there are 4 squares at the bottom of your screen where you can join. Just click on the 4 squares, and then you will see the rooms. I see a lot of people already inside the breakout rooms, but there are 29 that are still out. So I would like everybody to please join. If you don't find the breakout room, please join anyone. You can join any room. Join any room. You don't have to join exactly the one I said. Just join one of the rooms and take part.
Okay, Valdez. Excuse me, I got now the room. You told me that for District 1001, room 8.
Room 8, thank you. Okay, I see more and more people are joining. So again, the question is, why do you think so many people disbelieve that learning English in public education is possible? Why? What is the point, in your opinion? Why is this a fact? Okay, that's going to be a brief talk before we go ahead. I'm going to close all the rooms now, and everybody's going to come back.
Teacher,
Yes. Lydia?
can you repeat the 18 group?
Is room number 8. But I'm closing the rooms now because it's a quick, in 40 minutes, the rooms will be closed. And everybody will be back here.
Teacher,
Okay?
what is the room for a regional 10?
Room number 8.
Thanks.
Yeah. Now again, many people disbelieve that it is possible to learn English in public education. And then you see comments like this. People say that we are insane, that we're just telling people fantasies, delusions. So before everybody comes back in, because they'll be back in 10 seconds, the question is again, why does the general public disbelieve the possibility of learning English in public education? Because that again is a fact. Okay, now everybody is coming back. We're getting everybody back to the salt mines. Everybody's coming back. Very well. Now, welcome back to all of you, those who were inside the breakout rooms.
Oh,
Now, we are going to...
come back.
Yes, just a minute, please. Now, please pay attention to the screen now. Now, I would like you to share your answers. 1 volunteer per room. First, breakout room number 1. I would like someone from breakout room number 1, regionals 1, 2, and 3. Someone from breakout room number 1, regionals 1, 2, or 3. Anybody? Any volunteer?
Here I am. Here I am.
What are
Okay,
you?
Mr. Casilla, okay. You have the word?
Moises,
that's
go ahead.
Okay. I was telling the group that people disbelieve because we have had a long story in the past. People finishing high school, primary school, going to the university, and when they finish, they are not able to speak 1 minute. And now somebody is saying that they can become bilingual. They say it's too good to be true. But when we start doing a great job, they see the evidence that the method is working, they will start believing. That's my point.
Thank you very much. That's great. Now, once again, please pay attention. I would like everybody to mute their microphones, please. Mute your microphones. When somebody is talking, please make sure your microphone is off. Please. Thank you. Now, I would like to get a volunteer from breakout room number 2, that is regionals 4 and 5. Anybody here from regionals 4 and 5? Breakout room number 2. Anybody? Any supervisor from regionals 4 and 5? Okay. Now, anybody from regionals 6 or 7? Volunteers from regionals 6 or 7?
Yes.
Go ahead, Mariela Paulino. Tell us about it.
Thank you. Well, in my opinion is that the people think that our English class is just to fill the schedule and not because the English class is important, because the students are not are not learning English in our classes.
And what's your take on that?
Sorry?
What is your opinion about it?
Yes, I feel that we have a lot of promises and, we are working with what we have, and I feel that we need more time in our classroom to teach, and they don't allow to give homework, and we need, if we don't have enough time in the classroom, we need, send homework.
Okay, but do you believe it's possible or not?
Yes, of course. I believe it's.
Thank you very much. Now, I would like to get someone from regionals 7 and 8. 7, 8, 9. Anybody from
Group 8.
Yes, go ahead.
Group 8.
Go ahead.
Okay, and the question was very interesting that we didn't have enough time to socialize some aspects, but at least we could say that we took one of our colleagues' ideas, and that is that parents are not interested that their children learn English because they think it's useless. But in addition to that, the government needs to supply the schools with more devices and technical resources. But I want to something that is, in my opinion, one of the complaints from parents and other people around the school is that if students are having issues with Spanish, which is their native language, so why do they have their English? That is what these are one of the complaints that are in here. You know very well what I'm saying. So that is, so we have difficulties in our own language. So why do you think we are not going to have problems with learning another language like English? That's it.
Okay, now I would like to get anybody else from regional number 10 or 11 now to tell me.
Okay.
Do you think one thing, Carmen? Santiago just mentioned that parents don't think English is important, or they're not interested in getting their kids to learn English. And he mentioned something even more appalling. He said that the fact that they are not learning well Spanish may have an issue with their learning English. What is your point on that, Carmen?
Yeah, but let me tell you what. I told to Santiago that what he told you.
Okay, do you believe parents don't want their kids to learn English? They're not interested?
Yeah, no. If, for example, the parents help us and the government give us the tools, we can do it. That's what I told in the group.
Okay,
and
perfect.
And Santiago reproduced that.
Okay, because honestly, I find it hard to believe that parents are not interested in getting their kids to learn English. That's really even hard to believe, because it's all the opposite. Especially the poor. I mean, parents wish their kids learned English. That's why they make an effort to send them to a language institute. And they actually strive to make it real. And they wish their kids could go to some level of bilingual education. I don't think it's honestly an issue of they are not wanting that. But the point that Carmen is making is that we need collaboration and support from both parents and the authorities. Wendy from regional number 2, I would like Wendy from regional number 2 to, because she raised her hand earlier and said she had something to say. Is Wendy there? Regional number 2.
Yes, I'm here.
Go ahead, Wendy. What's your point? Tell us.
Well, I think they don't believe that because we have a failed system, and it has been like that for a long time. And even in Spanish, look how we are in Spanish. And I can understand that for the people, it's impossible to believe that in English can be possible.
But one question.
It's understandable. It's understandable.
Do you think it's possible?
It's a hard work. And I know. I know because I have been working a program in public schools, and I know it's hard, but depends on our work.
But one question, Dolores Canalda. Dolores, what do you think is the role of a supervisor in this matter? They say it's hard, people believe it's not possible, but what is your role as a supervisor in this issue? People's disbelief on the learning of English in public education. Go ahead, Dolores.
Well, in my opinion, we have to motivate not only the students, we have to motivate the teachers, the directors of the schools, also the parents, everybody, because motivation is the clue, I think. Also, we have, as a person in the group, in the breakout room, said something that I think is important. We must believe that the students are able to do it, because the person said that in the streets, they think that the children cannot do it because even the teachers don't believe in their students that they can learn. Also, I think that they, in their opinion, they think that we don't have the resources, the human resources. For example, in my district, I know that there are many teachers that do not have that they haven't studied English or French, and that's difficult. When a person,
go ahead.
Okay, when a person have to teach something that they do not know, and that's something very difficult. Thank you.
Thank you. Evelina Luciano says, most of the time, they do not believe our students can learn English because they just think English is just a stuff, and the only subjects that are important are the 4 basic subjects, which honestly don't exist. There is not such a thing as a basic subject in a competency-based approach. I know a lot of you want to give your opinions, but again, there's a lot we're going to cover tonight, and I love it. I love to have a class that is so enthusiastic and honestly, so much participation. This is great. Thank you. Now let's continue. Most of what you told me now is based on the past. You are talking to me about the things that have never been done, the things that were not done in the past. So one of you said, I guess it was Wendy, that the system has failed us. But again, that is the past. We cannot focus on the past. There's an old saying that reads that when the past becomes the present, you lose the future. So I know that in the past, this was not real. This was not possible. But we cannot take the past as the reference. We are now here in the present, and we are the ones responsible for the future, especially you, the supervisors, because I always say that supervisors are the quality control component of the education system. My point of view is that where there is a will, there is always a way. If you have the will, there's always a way. I know that no one in 60 years has learned English in Dominican public schools, but that doesn't mean it is impossible. And we can't use the past as the reference. Let me ask you a question. Do you remember the Banister Effect? The Banister Effect is a good reference for this. When people don't believe something is possible, they don't even believe it is humanly possible. And now, I want to play a video for you on one of my favorite motivational speakers and one of my favorite stories, the Banister Effect. I would like you to correlate everything you just said to the next video. Let's watch.
People, ladies and gentlemen, when something happens to them, what they do is they begin to believe that that's the way it is. That's the way it's always been. And they can't see the possibility of it being any different. Example, before April 1954, the common belief, the universal belief, because it had been tried again and again and again, and people had failed, the belief was that man was not physically capable of breaking the 4-minute barrier, that he could not run a mile in less than 4 minutes. That was the belief on the planet. It had never been done. Here's what happened, ladies and gentlemen. Roger Banister came along, and he broke the 4-minute barrier. Now, here's what's significant about that. Since that time, up to this day, over 20,000 people have done it, including high school kids. What changed? 20,000 people, what changed? Here's what happened when they got on the track. They knew it had been done. And because they knew it had been done, there was a new belief about this barrier. about this goal that was unreachable. And those 20,000 people got in the race believing, knowing in their heart that someone had done it, that it's possible, that they could do it. And I'm saying that if you know anybody that had some goal, some dream, something they wanted to do, and they did it, then I'm saying that you know in your heart that if someone has done it, then you can do it. It's possible. And that if someone can make their dream become a reality, that it's possible that you can make your dream become reality.
So, in my opinion, again, I know that it's never been done before. No one has learned English ever before in Dominican public schools. But it is insane, in my opinion, to continue doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. The fact that it has never been done in the past does not mean that we cannot make it real. We can't use the past as a reference. We have to use the present, and we have to be the ones responsible for making it real. If we are not the solution, then we are the problem. So I understand when people say that this is a dream, that we're never going to make it. But again, where there is a will, there is a way, and we can make it. That's my point. That's what I basically wanted to tell you about this video. That was just the introduction because I was really shocked by so many comments I had on social media. People are in total disbelief, and this is going to help us a lot because when we make it real, this is going to create a lot of hope. This is going to create a different attitude in Dominican education. Now, getting to the heart of the matter, as I stated in our last presentation, this is an approach to language teacher supervision as developmental. And this chart summarizes our vision of language teacher supervision again. And today, based on all these components, we are going to be addressing one of these factors, the prerequisites to good language teacher supervision. And the number one prerequisite is knowledge. What is the knowledge you, as a language teacher supervisor, must have in order to do your job properly? Now, take a look at the title here. It says Supervision for Successful Schools. My point here is that successful schools are not possible without supervision. And notice that the letter V in vision is in red. Because in order to do successful supervision, you need to have a supervision. That's why the word supervision is so important. Because you can't have a normal vision about things. You need a supervision for this. Now, throughout most of its history, supervision has operated from within a conventional paradigm, attempting to control teachers' instructional behaviors. However, based on what we know about successful schools, the time has come to move from conventional schools, which are still dominant in the Dominican Republic, toward collegial schools. A paradigm shift toward the collegial model, if it is to succeed, must include a shift away from conventional supervision towards collegial supervision. And this is very important. The difference between conventional supervision and collegial supervision. Because again, what is the past? The past is conventional schools and conventional supervision. If we want to change the past and have a better future, now in the present, we need a shift toward collegial supervision, which is what this program is all about. And what does that mean? Well, the view of supervision includes all the following, this new view. First, a collegial rather than a hierarchical relationship between teachers and formally designated supervisors. Supervisors are not superior to teachers. In fact, before you become a supervisor, you are a teacher. And if we want to create and make a change possible, supervision is not a hierarchy. You can't see your position as hierarchical above that of teachers. That is why it is stated that a collegial rather than a hierarchical relationship between teachers and formally designated supervisors is necessary. We have to see again our teachers as colleagues, not as someone we supervise or control, or someone below our hierarchy. Supervision as the province of both teachers as well as formally designated supervisors. There is peer supervision, there is peer teaching, which is the province of teachers. So both the teacher as well as a supervisor has a chance to contribute in supervision. A focus, this is very important, on teacher growth rather than teacher compliance. Most of what supervision does in Dominican public schools is to verify and audit teachers' compliance. And that is not, again, developmental. That has proven not to improve teachers' performance. That has proven not to help teachers grow. So in the past, we can put supervision for compliance. In the present and for the future, we have this vision of supervision for teacher growth. Another important factor is that of facilitation of teachers collaborating with each other in instructional improvement efforts. We need to help teachers improve. Again, teacher involvement in ongoing reflective inquiry is a very important component of this collegial model of language teacher supervision. So again, I would like to summarize. This new vision of language teacher supervision implies a collegial and not a hierarchical relationship between teachers and supervisors. Teacher growth rather than teacher compliance. Collaboration rather or instead of control and imposing measures. And reflective inquiry, getting teachers involved on reflective teaching. Now, based on this, once again, on the breakout rooms, I would like you to get together and talk about your professional opinion about having a collegial rather than a hierarchical relationship between teachers and supervisors. Is it possible? What's your opinion? What is, again, your professional opinion about having a collegial rather than a hierarchical relationship between teachers and supervisors? I am going to open the breakout rooms again, and let me reaffirm the division of groups. This division is going to be used all through tonight's class. In breakout room number 1, you will have the supervisors from regionals 1, 2, and 3. Breakout room number 2, supervisors from regionals 4 and 5. Breakout room number 3, supervisors from regionals 6 and 7. Breakout room number 4, supervisors from regionals 8 and 9. Breakout room number 5, supervisors in regionals 11 and 12. Breakout room number 6, supervisors in regionals 13 and 14. Supervisors on breakout room number 7 are the ones from regionals 15 and 16. And in regionals 10, 17, and 18, you will have breakout room number 8. I will now open again the breakout rooms. Here they are. Now, please, you can join breakout rooms one more time. Let me open them. There you go. You have all the breakout rooms open. Now, please join the breakout rooms. What's your opinion is the question about having a collegial rather than a hierarchical approach to language teacher supervision in Dominican public schools. Everybody, please join your breakout rooms. Breakout rooms 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8. Go ahead. What is your professional opinion about having a collegial rather than a hierarchical relationship between teachers and supervisors? Everybody, please join your breakout rooms now. We have more and more teachers. I'm going to post it again on the screen. These are the rooms for each regional. Go ahead, please, and join your breakout rooms. What is your professional opinion about having a collegial rather than a hierarchical relationship between teachers and supervisors? You can now join the rooms. Go ahead. Join the rooms and discuss this question. What is your professional opinion about having a collegial rather than a hierarchical relationship between teachers and supervisors? Go ahead. Please try to join the rooms now. Go ahead. What is your professional opinion about having a collegial rather than a hierarchical relationship between teachers and supervisors? Why do we have Juan Luis Perez, please, Roberto Santos, Ana Perez, please join the breakout rooms that correspond to you. I'm going to assign you to a room now. If you are not in a room, I'm going to assign you to one. You will be moved to one of the rooms. If you're not in a room, then you'll be assigned to one. I am proceeding to assigning you to one of the rooms. In case you have not been able to join a room, you are now being assigned to one of them. Go ahead. I have assigned you to a specific room. Please join. Okay, Maria Francisca, you'll be in room number 5. Martin Almanzar, you'll be in room number 6. Mercedes Medrano, you're going to room number 7. Miguelina Guerrero, you're going to room number 8. Michelle Nero, you're going to room number 1. Kiriko Hernandez, you're going to room number 5. Rafael Ramirez, room number 6. Rigoberto Ramon, room number 7 now. Roberto Santos, room number 6. Sidenia Rodriguez, you're going to group number 1. And Ubencia Beriguete, you're going to room number 8. You've been reassigned. So please go ahead. Harling Arias, you belong in room number 8. Please join room number 8. Let's see who else we have here. Okay. Whoever is not in a room, I can assign you right away. So go ahead. Join the breakout rooms. What is your opinion about having a collegial rather than a hierarchical relationship between teachers? Okay, now for those who are here, those who could not join the breakout room, I would like you now to please turn on your microphones. Turn on your microphones now and give me your opinion. Raise your hand, those who are still here. Please turn on your microphone and let's talk. What is your opinion about having a collegial rather than a hierarchical relationship between teachers and supervisors? You can turn on your microphone now and tell me about it. Any volunteer? Adalgisa Cabrera from Puerto Plata. Adalgisa, what is your opinion? Can we have a collegial relationship with teachers rather than a hierarchical relationship? Is it possible? Evaristo, you can talk to us now. Anybody else? Anybody in the room who would like to join us? You can now turn on your microphones and let us know your opinion. Okay, let's give him some 4 minutes, a few more minutes. Just hang in there, please. Yes, Felix? Felix, can you hear me? Felix Garcia?
Yes, I can hear you.
Felix, is it possible to have a collegial relationship rather than a hierarchical relationship between supervisors and teachers?
Excuse me, repeat again, because I have a little problem with my computer and my cell phone, because I have a little problem with my communication. So repeat again.
The question, look at the screen. What is your professional opinion about having a collegial rather than a hierarchical relationship between teachers and supervisors? Do you think it's possible to have a collegial relationship and not a hierarchical relationship between teachers and supervisors? Is this feasible?
Teachers as supervisor or supervisor as a teacher?
No. You're a supervisor. Do you feel it's better for you to have a collegial relationship or a hierarchical relationship with the teachers? What do you think is more professionally appropriate? For you, the supervisors to be at a higher hierarchy, or for you to be just colleagues with teachers?
No, I believe all the time in a horizontal relationship, because when you know, a vertical relationship, you know, a teacher observe you like a boss, but at this time, we consider as a collaborator. When you consider a collaborator with your peer teachers, okay, we have to be integrated all the time with the reflective communication with them. Now, without taking out order the curriculum that you have to follow and the normative that you have to accomplish at the same time. But I don't believe in a vertical relationship as a supervisor.
So it should not be vertical. You mean it should not be hierarchical. It should be a collegial relationship. All right, so I'm going to close the breakout rooms and I'm going to ask everybody to come back to give us their opinion. Everybody will be back in a few seconds. In just 1 minute, we are all coming back to the session. But again, the point is, should supervision be a hierarchical thing or a collegial thing? Supervision has always been hierarchical in the Dominican Republic. Unfortunately, it's been always a vertical relationship, not a horizontal one, as Felix just stated. But again, modern education research shows that a collegial rather than a hierarchical relationship between supervisors and teachers is always better. So I'm going to ask one volunteer per room to give us their opinion. Felix, what regional are you from? Which one? Okay. Yes, you didn't hear me. Welcome back, everybody. Okay, we're back. Everybody's back to the salt mines. Here we are. Welcome back, everybody. Now, once again, I would like everybody to please turn off their microphones. Turn off your microphones, please. I'm going to ask you again to participate and give your opinions. but I need you to raise your hand and only turn on your microphone when instructed, please. Before again, we give our opinions, I would like everybody to turn off their mics. And I'm gonna allow you to turn them on just in a minute. Okay, now I'm allowing everybody to unmute themselves. But first of all, again, you need to raise your hand. All right, now I'm gonna pose a question again. Here is a question. What is your professional opinion about having a collegial rather than a hierarchical relationship between teachers and supervisors? And again, these are the groups. Please, I'd like you to keep this in mind again. Keep in mind the rooms you belong to. All right? Now, volunteers, raise your hands. What is your opinion about having a collegial rather than a hierarchical relationship between supervisors and teachers? Volunteers who have raised their hand, Rafael Alexander again, go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Sure, go ahead.
First and foremost, thank you for giving me the opportunity. My colleagues from regionals 16 and 17, I think it was, we came to the conclusion that this collegial model is present in some cases. It's also possible because the concept has even changed. Like, for example, from the word supervisor, we now have the word technical docente. We also came to the conclusion that this kind of relationship is needed because like this, we can create stronger bonds with our students, with our teachers, excuse me.
Great. Genaro Castro from Regional 10. Genaro, can you hear me? You've raised your hand. Is Genaro there? Genaro Castro raised his hand. Genaro, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
What is your opinion? Is it possible to have a collegial and not a hierarchical relationship with teachers?
Yes, of course. Was practicing that my district 1001. What's happening is the teachers are all the time thinking that the supervisor I giving them only job, only work, you know. Okay. And they need more cooperation and more help than to give them all the time work and more work. So at first time, when teachers see you, they are thinking you are giving work. You are carrying them work at school. So you have to make them understand that is not. So you have to get more familiar to the teachers. You have to demonstrate teachers that you are your friends, that you can cooperate with them, you like a friend all the time, not like a supervisor, not like something like this. I think that.
And Renato says he has experience with that because they had a model in District 1001 in Santo Domingo. That's pretty good. Thank you, Renato, for your participation. Clara Diaz Peguero, she raised her hand, please. Clara?
Hello, teacher. I don't have camera. I can't.
It's okay,
that's why.
Go ahead. What's your opinion?
Okay, I think it's important that we have a special relationship with the teachers because we need to go there to the schools. We need to support the teachers. Not only say, give me that, you never do that in that form. No, that's not correct. We need to support the teacher and help in the process if it's possible, and have a good communication with them too. It is important that they feel that we are with them and they are our collaborator and we collaborate them too.
Very well, that's perfect. That's a great vision.
We never go. It is important that we never go to the school with a dictatorial manner. Because if we go in that form, we never achieve our goal with them.
I mean, we're supervisors, not bullies.
Yeah.
Anyway, I would like Herman Romero. Herman, what's your take on this, Herman? Herman Romero, is he still there? Okay, not? Okay. Then I would like here, Dolores Canalda, go ahead. Did you raise your hand?
Yes.
What is it? What's your
Yes.
take on this? Is it possible, Dolores? Can we do it?
Oh, yes, it is. It is important that the relationship between teachers and the supervisors is of a collaboration. We have to help them to do a better job, but not just to send them like a mandatory an order or tell them what or what not to do. Also today or nowadays, the organizations are using vertical charts instead of
Horizontal.
using horizontal, yes, horizontal charts instead of vertical charts because it's better for the organizations.
All right, Herman Romero, thank you.
Yes, okay. Excuse me. I think that we have to be friends of our teacher. That's one of my idea. And we have to think that we were teaching before to be a supervisor, and we are supervisor. We are not cop, no police, no an army teacher. Then
that's a good one. We're not an army. that's a very good one. Thank you, Herman. Yes. I love Zacharias Rosa wrote a comment in the chat. He says, sometimes teachers see the supervisors as a boss. I remember the teacher who used to call me boss. I always told her that I am not a boss. That it's better to call me a friend or a colleague. And that's actually, Misael Luna, let's see what Misael has in mind for this. Misael, what's your take on a collegial rather than a hierarchical model to supervision?
I think, you hear me?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
I think that every teacher has their own way of teaching. The technician has the
I lost you there, Misael. Please turn on your mic. I lost you there. Please turn on your microphone, Misael. Turn on your microphone, please, Misael Luna. Go ahead.
You hear me?
Now, yes, sorry, we lost you for a minute. Yes, I got you. Good, go ahead.
Yes, I told you that the technician, when he was a teacher, has their way of teaching, and the teacher, his supervisor, have the way of their own way of teach or to teach. And some technicians, they try to impose the manner the technician know how to teach. You know, I think it's like when you are cooking a food. The teacher is teaching the class, the technician is observing the class, and the technician can tell the teacher, if you add this ingredient, the food is better. But the technician, I know technician that they say to the teacher, you are teaching in a bad way, for example.
Right, I get your point. In fact, Rigoberto Ramon Mateo says, teachers are the leaders in the classroom because they guide the process.
The class belongs to the teacher.
Right, and again, somebody was talking about a horizontal rather than a vertical approach to supervision. This is basically a collegial approach. The idea that there is a hierarchy is not the best idea because you're dealing with humans, you're dealing with people who have feelings, who have attitudes, and you have to keep in mind the goal of supervision. We're not there to impose or to just show off that we have a higher hierarchy than teachers. That's not the objective. Well, I love this class because you all love to participate and share. This is great. Now, let's go ahead anyway, because we have a lot to do. So before we go ahead, that was basically the idea on hierarchy and the rest. In fact, there is a lot of literature on this issue. In fact, Joe Blass captures the spirit of this new collegial approach to supervision in the following description. Leadership is shared with teachers and it is cast in coaching, reflection, collegial investigation, study teams, explorations into the uncertain, and problem solving. It is position-free supervision, wherein the underlying spirit is one of expansion, not traditional supervision. Alternatives, not directives or criticism, are the focus. And the community of learners perform professional, indeed moral service to students. That was a citation from Gordon, 1995. Collegial supervision then stands in sharp contrast to traditional approaches to supervision. And that's basically a very important point to keep in mind. Now, I'm going to ask everybody to please mute their microphones because we are going to be watching a video, and I would like everybody to mute their mics, please, again. Now, I'd like you to use your notebook and pen or pencil one more time. Take notes. You're going to watch a video and take notes. In this video, a supervisor is being interviewed about his work with teachers during his first year as principal, school principal. Take this note, please. On a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 representing no commitment and 10 representing the highest possible commitment, how would you rate the principal's commitment to collegial supervision? That's question number 1. And number 2, what information from the video supports your rating? You have to mark a rating on a scale of 1 to 10, representing 1 representing no commitment and 10 representing the highest possible commitment. And you have to rate the principal's commitment to collegial supervision. But then you have to take note and support your opinion from the video on information from it, okay? Now, this is a video we're going to watch. And keep in mind the questions you're going to ask. One more time. On a scale from 1 to 10, with 1 representing no commitment and 10 representing the highest commitment, how would you rate the principal's commitment to collegial supervision? And question number 2, what information from the video supports your rating? Okay, I'm going to share the video now. Just a minute. Let me get all the information for you. We have an issue here now. Sorry. That's basically, I'm going to get back to that in a second because we unlocked from Pearson here. Give me just a second. Here we go. Just a minute. Give me just a few secs. We have video from one of these. Give me a minute because we lost the link to the video. This is a live program, so we're going to have to deal with it this way. Okay. Give me a second. With you in no time. Hope this works. Okay. Here we go. Yeah, here we are. Now let's pay attention to the video. Listen and take notes.
The fact that there was a small group of teachers whose voices were constantly heard, and there was a group of teachers, another group of teachers that, I mean, they had voices to share, and yet they weren't heard. So when I came on board, I wanted to hear everybody's voices. I wanted to have their input so that school-wide decisions could be made. And I constantly got pressure from this very small group whose voices were loud. And, you know, I listened to them and I didn't necessarily agree with everything that they were saying because it wasn't about kids. This small group of people decided that they indeed were not a fit for Beachport anymore, and have since gone on to other schools. That's, I would say, what the challenge was that first year.
So that would be a focus that I would like to really start to think about for the rest of this school year, and then just build on that for next school year, if our professional development committee would also agree with that.
And I think they would. Another challenge was putting together a professional development schedule and a committee meeting schedule that were within the requirements of the contract for the teachers. So one of the things that we did at Beach Court was we had grade level team meetings in which not only did they learn the content as far as what needed to be implemented in the classroom with the Denver Literacy Plan, but also to have a venue for which they could have conversations about the obstacles that they were encountering during the implementation of the DLP, but also to talk a little bit about student learning and what were some observations that they were seeing with the implementation. As a principal, it allowed me to be able to meet with teachers and hear and actively listen to these conversations that my teachers were having as far as the strengths and the obstacles, challenges that they were having with the implementation of the program.
What portion of our data would you like to focus in on?
I personally would like to go with the far to go kids. I think the extensive support kids is a good group to work with, but it would definitely take more time and I mean, it's going to be tough because of the grade level and all that. I think the far to go kids are in that cusp, you know, so we could get them to proficient. So I would like to work with those kids. I don't know.
I agree.
During grade level team meetings, one of the things that I realized was I felt like the teachers were afraid to make mistakes. And I always say to them, you know what, it is okay to make a mistake. As a classroom teacher, I made a myriad of mistakes all the time. But the thing to take from making mistakes is that you learned from your mistakes, you grew from your mistakes, and that you are a continuous learner in your respective profession.
What are some things that you think some instructional strategies that might explicitly hit the needs of these children?
I was thinking doing visualizing through a poem. With this particular group of kids that we decided to work with, just take it a step forward and have the kids read the poem and listen to the poem and then make a drawing about the poem.
Professional development that first year was very content heavy. I mean, because there was so much information that we had to convey to the teachers as far as the components that needed to be implemented within the Denver Literacy Plan. There was a little bit of reflection time, but just having conversations with my teachers, having them convey what they were finding out with the implementation process, I began to realize that we needed more reflection time.
Okay, so I hope you had a chance to listen to the video entirely, properly. But now, on a scale from 1 to 10, with 1 representing no commitment and 10 representing the highest commitment, how would you rate this principal's commitment to collegial supervision? And what information from the video supports your rating, supports your opinion? First, again, you're going to go to the breakout rooms. I need you to become proficient in joining the breakout rooms because most of this program is on discussion and we value your viewpoint because you are the experts. You are the ones who do supervision day to day. Again, teach supervisors from regionals 1, 2, and 3 try to join room number 1. Supervisors from 4 and 5, room number 2. Supervisors from regionals 6 and 7, room number 3. Supervisors from regionals 8 and 9, room number 4. Supervisors from regionals 11 and 12, room number 5. Supervisors from regionals 13 and 14, room number 6. Supervisors from regionals 15 and 16, room number 7, and supervisors from regionals 10, 17, and 18, room number 8. I'm going to stop sharing now and open the breakout rooms. Now they are open. Please join your corresponding breakout room. Go. On a scale of 1 to 10, what do you think is the principal's commitment to collegial supervision? Go ahead, please. Try to join the rooms now. These are the rooms. Join the breakout rooms, please. If you don't find a specific breakout room, you can join any one you would like. Join any of the rooms you would like. If you can't find your specific breakout room, please. Go ahead. Everybody, join the breakout room. And again, the question is, on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate the principal's commitment to collegial supervision? On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate the principal's commitment to collegial supervision? And number 2, what information from the video supports your rating? Join the breakout rooms, please, and discuss this in the breakout rooms. Go ahead, please. I'm glad you're all joining the rooms. Great. Good. Everybody, please try to join one of the rooms. We still have 12, 11, now 10 participants. Go inside and join the breakout rooms. Based on the video, how would you rate the principal's commitment to collegial supervision, and what information from the video supports your rating? Go ahead. I'm going to give you a few more minutes. Now, Sidenia Rodriguez, Ana Perez, Maria Francisca, you may turn on your mics if you wish to talk about it here with us now. Please feel free to turn on your microphones if you want to give your answer. You can now give your opinion. Ana Perez?
Hello, teacher.
Yeah, go ahead.
Excuse me. I'm original 18.
Okay, great. Welcome, Anna. Anna,
yes.
did you watch the video?
I'm going late.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're coming late. Just hang in there, please. Just hang in there. Stay with us. We're going to continue class because now they are in the breakout rooms. Now, Sidenia, would you like to give your opinion? How would you rate the principal's the principal's approach to collegial supervision? How would you rate his attitude towards it? Now, if you wish, now you can answer the questions. How would you rate the principal's commitment to collegial supervision, and what information from the video supports your rating? Felix, what rating would you give the director in terms of his commitment to collegial supervision? Maria Francisca, Eliezer, Paula Brandt, Fanny Madonna, Angel Ortiz, any one of you, you feel free to give your opinions now if you wish. Those who are still outside the breakout rooms may give their opinion. On a scale from 1 to 10, how would you rate the principles? Mercedes, you want to talk about it? I can see Mercedes is just logging in.
Sorry, I was in room number 4 and I don't know what happened to the internet and I was bad in the meeting and I was in this group. So
for some reason, yes. I don't know why. It's
yes,
okay.
I don't know why.
But anyway, let's take this chance. How would you rate the principal's commitment to collegial supervision? From 1 to 10, what rating would you give him? Sorry, we can't hear you. Please turn on your microphone. Okay, now I'm going to give the others just 1 more minute to close the breakout rooms and have them coming back. Before they all turn back to class, would anybody like to give their opinion about the principal's commitment to collegial supervision? How would you rate the principal's commitment to collegial supervision is the question. Everybody's coming back now? Okay. I would like to hear from Maria Cristina Reyes now. Maria Cristina Reyes, how would you rate the principal's commitment to collegial supervision on a scale from 1 to 10? Go ahead, Maria Cristina. You are free to unmute yourself. Go ahead.
Okay. I had a big problem because the video was very, very slow.
Okay, very low in volume.
Yes, very slow.
I give 8, but our partner Dolph in my group have the speech.
Thank you.
Darren, how would you rate their approach, their commitment to collegial supervision, the principals?
I gave him an 8. I like what he was saying. I think the first thing he said that he likes to go around the room to listen to each teacher opinion and ideas about their practice. He also talks about professional development for teachers to improve their pedagogy, which is good because teachers need that development in order to improve their pedagogy and their strategies and stuff, which is important. And he talked about reflection time, which is good because the classroom is very fast. So sometimes teachers can teach a class and then not reflect on all those things that happened during the class. By giving teachers opportunity to reflect on what happened and the mistakes they make is important. He also talked about that as well, that teachers could make mistakes, but also learning from the mistakes that they made in order to improve. So overall, I think he has a great understanding on how he helped his teachers in the classroom.
So that's more of a collegial rather than a hierarchical model of supervision. Mm-hmm. You talk about providing professional development, listen to all the teachers, he listens to all of them. So listening to the teachers is another way to do it. And providing, facilitating reflective teaching, which is part of it all. Very well. Now, volunteers, the ratings. Tell me your ratings. Anybody else, please? How would you rate the principal's commitment to collegial supervision? Okay, anybody else? Domingo Alberto Concepcion, please turn on your microphone. What's your opinion? How would you rate the principals? Go ahead. Yeah, first of all, Domingo, what rating would you give him from 1 to 10?
8.
Why?
Yeah, because there were some voices interrupting, during his work. But something important that I want to say is something positive about the teacher. because the purpose that he had was in order to empower the teacher through their work, and also to get in them more strength in their work as well. And also he was talking about that teachers can learn from the mistakes, and also conversation with the teachers help them to improve their work. So the supervision was in that part very good, but a lot of work that the teacher had to do, etc., but was very interesting. The supervisor was
really good. Alan Beltray from Regional O3. Alan, how would you rate the principal's commitment to collegial?
Well, there are several moments that I took notice of. For example, at the beginning, he says that he gave them a safe space for them to express their opinion, even though he didn't agree with them. And then he said that he sympathizes with them when they express their fears of making mistakes. That's another plus there because, okay, you can be a peer to them, you can be a co-worker, a friend, if you want to call so, but when you sympathize, you're admitting, so you're being personal. And that means more for the teachers because, hey, this is a person just like me. And he's showing me that, yes, I can make mistakes. And he's even telling me that I can improve from them. And
so they had a safe haven for mistakes.
Yeah. And reflection. That, with the reflection, I think I will give him like a 9 or a 10 maybe. Because when you make the teacher reflect, and if he does that properly, you don't even have to give them feedback because they're going to find their own feedback from their teaching practice. I think that reflection is one of the most important things or aspects that a supervisor can allow the teacher to do or encourage the teacher to do.
And keep in mind that the role he was playing was that of a director. Now he's the supervisor, but he was playing the role of a director, which is interesting. Okay. Now Rafael raised his hand too. Rafael Alexander.
Yeah, thank you for the opportunity. I was telling my friends from regional 16 and 17 that it was kind of difficult because we had numbers, right from 1 to 10. Give a score, but we don't have indicators. So it was kind of very subjective. Like the closest thing that we had to indicators was one of the slides that you presented, where there were the elements of collegial supervision. And as I was watching the video, I was also looking at that slide. So I would also give the supervisor an 8. There was reflective practice at the end. He said a bit of reflective practice, and he was listening to his teachers during all of the video. So that's my opinion.
Which of the indicators on that slide did you specifically identify?
Well, yeah, it says that that a collegial model of supervision should include teacher involvement in ongoing reflective inquiry.
Okay,
so
you're talking about reflective inquiry and teacher involvement.
Inquiry, thank you for the correction there.
Wait, no, it's okay. I mean, what I'm saying is that you're talking about involvement and reflection. Mm-hmm. That's what you saw in the video. Very well. Thank you so much. Misael, Luna, would you like to identify any of the indicators that support your rating on the director, on the principal?
Beltré is going to speak representing the group too. But I want to tell you that today I have some technical problems. On Wednesday, I will be ready.
Thank you. Very well. Well, again, I'm so glad that this group loves to participate and just be part of the whole class very actively. Now let's go ahead. Now let's take a look at the next slides. We just had this now. Now, continuing with the new paradigm in supervision, given the fact that the historic role of supervision has been inspection and control, it is not surprising that most teachers do not equate supervision with collegiality. When teachers have been asked to make word associations with the term instructional supervision, Most of the associations have been negative, as indicated in the following list. Now, once again, I'm going to have to stop here for a minute just to turn off the mics. I would like to ask again everybody to turn off their mics so that we can go ahead, please. Turn on, please turn on your mics, everybody. Please. I love dogs, but you know, now barking is not the thing. Now let's go ahead. As I was saying, teachers associate instructional supervision with negative words. Now let's see the next slide. These are the teachers' word associations with the term instructional supervision. For some reason, teachers have always associated the term supervision with step-by-step, lack of creativity, lack of free choice, evaluation, negative, non-existent, jumping through hoops, boring, paperwork, bureaucrat, monitoring instruction, guidelines for testing, authority, unrealistic. And in directive terms, they are associated with irrelevant, waste of time, restricting, rules, dog and pony show, big brother, intimidating, constantly under watch, anxiety, boss, stress, need for detailed lesson plans, which is very common in this country, administrative micromanagement, yuck. I mean, it is not your intention to do that, but let's keep in mind that teachers associate the role of instructional supervision with all these negative words. And we as teachers, as supervisors, that is, we have to be ready to debunk and change that idea, those feelings that teachers have. The collegial model of instructional leadership espoused in this supervision program denotes a common vision of what teaching and learning can and should be, developed collaboratively by formally designated supervisors, teachers, and other members of the school community. The word supervision also implies that these same persons will work together to make their vision a reality, to build a democratic community of learning based on moral principles, again, calling for all students to be educated in a manner enabling them to lead fulfilling lives and be contributing members of a democratic society. That is the vision of instructional leadership and the collegial model to supervision we have to keep in mind. Now, before we conclude for today, I would like to ask you the following. What do you think are the systemic obstacles to implementing a collegial model of supervision in Dominican public schools? You are part of the system. So my question is, specifically, what do you think are some systemic obstacles to implementing a collegial model of supervision in Dominican public schools? What in the system becomes an obstacle to implementing a model of this kind? One more time, I am going to open the breakout rooms and I'm going to ask you to answer these questions, or this question in particular. The rooms are now open. And the question again is, what do you think are the systemic obstacles to implementing a collegial model of supervision in Dominican public schools? Please join the breakout rooms now. Supervisors from regionals 1, 2, and 3, go to room number 1. Regionals 4 and 5, go to room number 2. Regionals 6 and 7, go to room number 3. Regionals 8 and 9, go to room number 4. Regionals 11 and 12, go to room number 5. Regionals 13 and 14, room number 6. Regionals 15 and 16, room number 7. And regionals 10, 17, and 18, go to room number 8. What do you think are the systemic obstacles to implementing a collegial model of supervision in Dominican public schools? Go ahead. I just typed, it's in all the groups, systemic obstacles to implementing a collegial supervision model in Dominican public schools. What are some of the obstacles that the system per se brings about in implementing a collegial supervision model in Dominican public schools? Those who are still here with us, you can turn on your microphones and express what you think are the systemic obstacles. We have Rigoberto, Franklin, Ana Perez. Ana? Ana, can you hear me, Ana?
Teacher, excuse me. I'm other.
Okay, now, anybody else would like to give your opinion? What are some systemic obstacles to implementing a collegial supervision model in Dominican public schools? Any volunteers? You may turn on your microphones now if you are still here with us. Those who are not in the breakout rooms, you may. Yes? Anna, what's your opinion? What are the obstacles? Felix Garcia, would you like to tell us some obstacles to implementing a collegial supervision model in Dominican public schools? Yes, Felix?
Yes, as you know, there are many obstacles to implement the supervision in our public school. One of them is the lack of competences from teachers in order to implement the current English, you know, because in most of the school we don't have professional teachers for doing a good job as a teacher. Then the role of a supervisor, most of the time, okay, you look for quality. You want to observe a qualified class given for the teachers. And this obstacle, most of the time, don't permit you to develop all the things you want to observe in a teachers. Most of the time we have to stop, supervise, and then to record to the teachers many aspects that he has to know to reinforce the teachers and give them some English courses in order to make them a little competences for teaching classes.
So you refer to teacher competence as one of the obstacles. But in terms of how, Felix, in terms of how the system works, what components of the structural system in education become obstacles to collegial supervision? Do you have any idea?
Many limitations from the Department of Ministry of Education. They don't open wide, scholarship to all the bachelors for be prepared as a teachers. Okay. As you know, many of the universities in our countries, they don't give the career as a teacher.
But you're talking about the higher education.
Example, you have to travel to Santo Domingo, you have to travel to Santiago, to only one. But most of the universities, they don't have in their curriculum, they don't have the career, the English teacher as a career. That's a problem that we have in our country.
I'm sorry.
And most of the teachers,
I'm sorry to interrupt, Felix. My point is, you're talking about the higher education system, but I'm talking about the pre-university system where you work, the MINERD system. Are there any components of the system per se, the way the system works, that is, that becomes an obstacle in developing, implementing a collegial supervision model? Would anybody else like to give an opinion on that? And I would like to refer specifically to the components of the system, how the system works, the system where you work, how does it work? Does that become somehow in any way an obstacle?
Excuse me, my lack of connection, because I have a little problem with my signal in internet.
It's okay. It's okay. It's not a problem, folks. Thank you. Okay, Lydia Mendez, do you have an opinion on how the system itself may turn into an obstacle? Okay, now let's close the breakout rooms for those who are just there. Let's give them a Okay, everybody's coming back now from the breakout rooms. Well, I know you had a rich conversation on how some components of the education system become obstacles. Now, collegial supervision proposes, again, a horizontal relationship rather than a hierarchical relationship. Now, by raising your hands, forgive my dogs, please. They just started barking again. But anyway, I would like you to raise your hands and basically tell me, in your opinion, what are some systemic obstacles to implementing a collegial supervision model in Dominican public schools? Raise your hands, please. We have Dolores Canalda, and I have Harling Arias too. Let's begin with Dolores and then next Harling. Go ahead, Dolores.
Well, in my opinion, the most difficult thing is how, for example, in the Ministry of Education, we have a chart that is completely vertical, yes. It is not a relationship, an horizontal relationship between the charters of everybody is important. And also, we have teachers that do not know anything about the language, and it is difficult to try to teach a person that doesn't know anything about it.
If it is a collegial,
and many things that I think also, well, and also bureaucracy. I think it is very important. It's something that I'm a great obstacle for that.
Very well, thank you, Dolores. Now we have Harling Arias, please. The rest, please turn off your microphones, please. Turn off your microphones. Now let's listen to Harling Arias' opinion.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, Harling. Go ahead. What are some obstacles in the system?
One of the main obstacles is that we are not well trained, or as well we were not trained to be a supervisor. That is the first issue. Another thing that we as a supervisor, we don't have enough time to be with our teachers, to work in the area, because we are enrolled in many other stuff far from the area. Another thing is that we were not well trained to do the best supervision. So we are following models with any theoretical issues. And we as a supervisor, we need to understand the process of our function, and also what things could help teachers as well. Because if we want teachers see us differently from the mass of us, so we have to do different things in our job as a supervisor. Supervisors means to have 3 different steps in a supervision. That is pre-observation, observation, and post-observation. According to the video, I think that the reflective is one of the most important part in the supervision, and that is the last part, where the teachers and supervisor talk in a freedom way, where there's not any feeling that stop the process. So we can lower the anxiety of teachers in order to teach English or in order to work with us in their classes. Because normally we make mistakes, and also normally we feel sometimes afraid when supervisions are in front of us. So for that reason, we should create a well-conditioned, a well atmosphere between teachers and supervisors. Otherwise, even though you have the structures, good supervision, it doesn't work if there's not a good atmosphere between teachers and supervisors. So the relationship is definitely is the main cause in this job.
Very well. So Harley mentioned two very important issues. She mentioned the training issue, the fact that most supervisors have not been trained for the role they play. And she also mentioned the fact that teachers need more resources, more training, and that they are assigned work that is not related to the field of language teacher supervision. Now, those are systemic issues, because if the system gives you a role and it doesn't train you for that, then it's going to be hard for you to do it properly. And the fact that teachers themselves also need more resources and better conditions also are systemic. But that is why we have this program. That is why we are doing this. In fact, I always say that we are beginning from scratch, that we're just getting our feet wet in this program. And this is going to be the first time that language teacher supervisors throughout the country get training specific to the function and the role they're supposed to play. We have to finish now, but in the next class, we will be talking about that, the structure. What is the structure, the official structure for language teacher supervision in the country? Where do language teacher supervision, or does language teacher supervision have to fit in? Where do language teacher supervisors have to go to? And we have to understand where they should belong and where they are right now. And we will also be delving into this next class, the National Educational Supervision System, the official approach, and how you are supposed to be structurally positioned in the Dominican education system. And what are the official principles in Dominican supervision? And what are the roles, the quality parameters that we have to address and adhere to in order to do our job according to the official system? And then we will discover how things could get better. Now, before I finish, because this is a very exciting class, and I truly appreciate all of your participation. I'm really very excited. I'm very happy to see that our supervisors are so professional and so committed to their profession. Now, before I finish, I would like to inform you. Yes?
Professor, I have a question for you.
Go ahead, before we finish. Yeah, because we don't have much time now. Go ahead.
What about the next schedule for the next month?
We are still working on it. I will talk about it right now. That is part of what I'm talking about now.
Okay.
I'm gonna be answering your question now, precisely. That's just what I'm gonna do if you allow me. Thank you. Now, let me just move this here before we go ahead, because otherwise it's gonna be hard to do it. Okay, just a minute. Now, yes, here we are. Our supervision priorities for this week. First of all, we have to continue to visit schools and making sure teachers have received their digital teacher's manual and codes for their students' digital books. Updating and double checking the actual number of students in the schools participating in the program now, that they are back to presential schooling before we deliver the physical books next week. The answer to your question is, once our students have their books, and that's going to be most likely next week, at least teachers will get their physical teacher's manuals and teacher materials next week. I already got them out of customs, and it's in our warehouse. We have over 300,000 kits of materials for teachers and students. And then before we deliver those materials, you need to update and double check the actual number of students in the schools participating in the program now that they are back to presential schooling. Because at the beginning, some teachers gave us a number and now it's a different one. So before we give books to students and teachers, we need to know for certain, for those schools participating, what the actual number of students is. Also, talking to school principals and reaffirming that their schools have been chosen to participate in the program. We have to make this clear. School directors must know exactly what's going on. And then you have to talk to them. You also have to run a teacher deficit survey on participating schools. I am visiting schools now day by day. And whenever I go to a school, directors always tell me that they have teachers missing, that they don't have enough teachers. So since the contest for teachers, for English teachers, is going to finish in a few weeks, I need to give the Ministry of Education a report on the deficit of teachers in all the participating schools in the program. I only need this report, this survey, for the schools that are participating in the program. So these are the priorities for this week, for the week we are running now. Continuing to visit schools and making sure teachers have received their digital teachers manual and codes for their students, updating and double checking the actual number of students in schools participating in the program, talking to school principals and reaffirming that their schools have been chosen to participate in the program, and running a teacher deficit survey, especially on participating schools. Well, I would like to thank you all very much once again and congratulate you for your very proficient participation on tonight.